Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here, and it's time to become a paladin. My son, son, just who are you? Through much sorrow I have longed for your coming. I shall now entrust you with my power. By doing so, my pain will only grow. But there is no other way. And a new sword floats down, and ta-da, we're a paladin. Break from your past and overcome your darkness. Only then will you receive the holy power. You must fight against the dark knight you wish to rid yourself of. And no, unequipping your stuff does not affect this battle in any way. What's going on? There are two of them. Cecil! Hey! Look out! Stay back. This is my battle, to atone for my wrongs. And the way you win this battle, at least in this version, is by not attacking. In Final Fantasy 4 on the Super NES, you could win. Hey, we have white magic now. I like paladins, by the way. It's not super strong, but that's okay. We're also level 1. So, yeah, we can cure ourselves. In the Super NES version, you actually the only way I knew of winning this fight was to actually just keep attacking the Dark Knight. But if you wait long enough, some fight for law, some fight for justice. What will you fight for? One day you will see. Yeah, just don't attack him. You have done well. Now receive my spirit as light, my soul, my light. With this you must stop Golbez. Farewell, my son. Please, wait. And Cecil has become a paladin. A very pivotal moment in the game. To get back to our ranking the Final Fantasy games list, we're still in the good tier, if you will. And the next one also has kind of a class upgrade, because this reminds me of like a class upgrade, even though it's really not. But, Palom, enough. This feeling, I can't explain it. It feels so familiar. That voice. I've got it. Master Tellah? My spells. I remember them now. Tellah remembered all of his spells. Meteor? That light. Somehow, it broke the seal upon Meteor. Tellah has learned Meteor. I love how this game hypes up the Meteor spell. And there's another Final Fantasy game that hypes up the Meteor spell, and I think it falls flat in doing so. I'll explain that if we get there ever. So yeah, class upgrades, Final Fantasy 1 is next on our list, coming in at number 6. Cecil, we have to tell you something. We're actually... I am ready to face Golbez. I am doom itself. Come, Cecil, to Baron. Yes, to Baron. That light, why did it call me son? Hey, wait up. Are you coming? Yes. So yes, next up, Final Fantasy 1, the original, not necessarily the NES version. Let's take a look at what Cecil has. He has the Sword of Legend. He can also equip staves now. That's not a good idea at all. He can equip this light shield so he can have some form of defense for a little bit. Even though these things are kind of weak. Gauntlets are decent. And as we covered, he gets white magic. Look, everybody's all cured. Let's also take a look at Tellah. Oh my, look at the spells. Spells indeed. He knows all but one white magic spell. And that white magic spell that he's missing is the holy spell, the damage dealing spell for white mages. So we're just going to go ahead and get some stuff up here. So Curaga, oh, I want Curaga over Curaja though. Why is Confuse here? Why is Blink here? What is going on with all of this? Do we want Reflect? I don't know if we ever want. We might actually want Reflect. Yeah, I don't think we need Reflect. So yeah, Curaga is basically like a Cure 3, level 3 white curing spell. Curaja is a level 4 white curing spell, which this is one of the few games that has the Curaja. So yeah, interesting tidbit there. Full life. This was also called Life 2. It restores your health fully when you're dead. 52 magic. Huh. I don't think we're going to be using that. Let's see here. We have the Firaga, Thundaga, Blizzaga, the level 3 black magic spells. This was the point as a kid where I just loved having Tellah. Didn't fully grasp the whole, he only has 90 magic, so he runs out of magic really quickly, especially casting these big spells, and that's what makes him really bad, sort of thing. He also has Meteor, which costs 99, and this is where it becomes the game really starts to hype up Meteor. Like, Tellah learned Meteor, but you never get to cast it, because as I mentioned before, Tellah can gain all the levels he wants. He is not going to go past 90 magic. Although there is actually a way you can have him cast Meteor legitimately. There are items, kind of rare items, called Soma Drop. We're missing 3 spells here. They are Flare, Quake. We have Break. What else is he missing? Flare, Quake, and he has Tornado. Flare, Quake, and I don't know. It'll probably come to me at some point. But yeah, other than that, I also really like the Bio spell. Rare, I don't know if we have any. They're called Soma Drops. What Soma Drops do is they will permanently increase your MP by either 5 or 10. I believe it's 10. There's also items that can permanently increase maximum HP, so you could give a character that would normally not have a ton of magic or a ton of health more health than they should have. We're going to save it. We're going to fail to save it. And we'll make our way back down the mountain. So yeah, original Final Fantasy 1. Fun fact, I've only actually beaten the Dawn of Souls version because it made casting magic a lot easier. But every once in a while, I do like to go back and at least attempt the... Cecil's going to take a lot of damage for a little bit. He's also going to level up insanely fast. Expect him to get like 5 levels after this battle, because he's kind of level 1 right now. So, yeah, there's that too. Now, another reason that I like the Super NES version is for the sound effect. Wow, look at that damage output. Does a ton of damage to undead enemies and these spirit enemies here. Whoops. Well, that ghoul's gonna be dead. Yeah, look at that. Um, what was I saying? I was talking about like 3 different things at once. Yeah, Final Fantasy 1. Yeah, never really completed it because you see, you had different levels of spells in that game, like levels 1 through 8. You could learn up to 3 spells of any given level. And however, you could only cast like 9 of that spell before you had to go to an inn and refill your magic points. Because magic points did not work in the way that it does like in this Final Fantasy, or like every Final Fantasy that comes after Final Fantasy IV. So yeah, Cecil's gaining a ton of levels. Let's see how many levels he gained. 5. I called it. I so called it. I'm gonna give him a cure here. Yeah, so you definitely want to have a few battles here, because Cecil will just level up a lot within the first few battles. So yes, hopefully this is good time to get through more of this list. So yeah, I do like going back to it, just attempting the challenge on the Final Fantasy 1. I don't know, maybe I'll do that on here sometime. But yeah, trying to go back and complete the game with the only being able to cast like 9 level 1 spells and 9 level 2 spells, 9 level 3 spells before you run out of magic. And if you run out of magic at that particular level, well, you can't use any spells from that level until you go and refill. Doesn't matter if you have MP for your higher level spells still or not. So yeah, it adds kind of a interesting strategic element. It also has a class system, although there's only 6 classes. They do get an upgrade where they essentially just become better versions of the class that they are. So like a warrior would become a knight, which acts kind of like a paladin, which will get a strong knight type of class, but also gets a few low-level white magic spells. And a thief that becomes a ninja, a white wizard or white mage that becomes a white wizard, rather. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's pretty basic as far as the storytelling. Go around, fight the 4 elemental fiends, explore the world, level up. A ton of grinding in that game, especially if you're not playing the Dawn of Souls version. Speaking of Dawn of Souls version, which is the Game Boy Advance version, that was the first version of the game to add bonus dungeons to the game. And so what's really cool about the bonus dungeons in Final Fantasy I Dawn of Souls is that you get to rebattle, or I shouldn't say rebattle, you get to fight bosses from Final Fantasy 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think that was a really cool touch. Anyways, enough about Final Fantasy 1. Next up on, the good tier, and this is going to end the good or favorite tier of mine, this game was kind of a borderline between the okay and average and the good tier, because it does have some issues that I'll acknowledge. But playing it all the way through, I did enjoy the game, and it has a job system. And it's Final Fantasy III. It has a job system kind of like a mixture between Final Fantasy I's job system, where you pick a job and that's your job for the whole game. And, well, let's show this off, because I don't have a reason not to. We'll let Tellah do an overkill on this. You can defend. And it's obviously not going to hurt the spirits, but I have fun with it either way. So we'll have Cecil take those guys out. So yeah, anyways, you pick a job, and that's like the only job. You don't get to mix abilities between different jobs. Look at that damage. I love it. I can only do it 3 times, but I love it. And but it also offered you the ability to switch jobs at will, like you can in Final Fantasy V. So yeah, and it had a magic system very much like the original Final Fantasy 1, where you get spell levels and only so many, so much MP per spell level. But you do go above 9 on certain spell levels. These guys are going to be harder to fight because you no longer get the instant kill. So, while we have this magic, let's show it off. Bio, because I like that. I love that too. Bio will also do a poison or draining / sap effect. I could go to the Chocobo Forest. That would be the smart thing to do. Let's do the smart thing. We'll find the Chocobo Forest. Gives us more time to talk about this stuff. And that zoo just, it has a double attack. And there's what Blizzaga looks like. Oh look, Cecil gained another level. No one is surprised by that. Before we step foot in here, let's cure people up. Because I don't remember if we're going to get... Oh, are you serious? You're serious right now. Let's cure people up again. One thing I didn't like about Final Fantasy III was the difficulty felt a bit artificial at times, where difficulty would come from bosses being able to do multiple actions in a single turn. So essentially the boss would get multiple turns in a row. What I mean by that is, like, there was one boss that made me like quit the game and hate it for a long time. That's why it's very borderline here between the two tiers. But Garuda, I think that's his name or how you pronounce it, is a lightning bird thing. He has an attack called Lightning that damages your whole party for tons of damage, and he can do 2 lightnings in a row, which pretty much will wipe out your party. That boss made me put the game down and not pick it back up for a long time. I came back to it years later, played through the game fresh, and I managed to beat Garuda my first try. I don't know if maybe I was just under-leveled a bit or didn't have like the best job set up. I don't know. But yeah, and then after I got past that point, you know, I still didn't like that aspect, the bosses getting, you know, multiple attacks like that in a row. But the game became beatable for me. You're in my way. Black Mage. Thank you. Oh, Wizard's Hat. Tellah could use that. Cecil stuff is more important, and this is not Cecil stuff. Tellah could use that. We gotta equip the stuff. Okay, you need light helmet. You need knight's armor. You have gauntlets and you have light shield, so yeah, you just barely had enough for everything. Let's sell some stuff. We don't need. 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 Heck, we don't need that either. I'm just gonna get rid of some items that I'll never use. Never use ever. Oh, there's more potions down there. Okay. I can't use any of this stuff. I should equip before going willy-nilly. I don't want to accidentally So, but notice how that took pretty much all of our money buying that stuff. We got a good portion back by selling things. Light helmet. Knight's armor. Look at that defense. Cecil's got defense now. Isn't that awesome? You're not even wearing anything on your head. Silly old man. Alright, sell more stuff. Sell. 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 Yeah, that's all the selling we're doing. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about 3. This is, more plot. Unbelievable, you've succeeded. Sir Cecil fought brilliantly. I'll say he passed with flying colors. Come again? Forgive me, I assigned them to spy on you. That pretty much sums it up. I feel awful having deceived you. I'm so sorry. I had suspected that was why. I deserved it after what I did. The most important thing is that you have become a paladin and have shed yourself of the darkness you once held. That sword! Where did you obtain it? It was given to me on the mountain's peak. Is this... Yes, it is. This sword holds the words of an ancient Mysidian legend. A legend? One born of a dragon, bearing darkness and light, shall rise to the heavens, over the still land, the moon's light eternal, brings a promise to earth, with bounty and grace. Well, that's a bunch of cryptic mumbo-jumbo. But hooray, it's the sword of legend. The light at ordeals called me son. What was that light? You ask a valid question, to which I do not know the answer. The legend has never been unveiled. For generations, we Mysidians have been told to pray for the fulfillment of this legend and to believe in the one with the sacred light. Perhaps you might be that one. Enough chatter, we must go and defeat Golbez. Tellah, it's been a while. We met him on Mount Ordeals. And guess what? The old man learned to cast Meteor. What? Meteor, the legendary spell, unsealed? What is happening to this world? I care not about the world's troubles. I solely wish to avenge Anna. Anna, your daughter? Golbez took her life, and I shall use Meteor to slay him. Tellah, you must not fight with hatred. Moreover, you are in no condition to use Meteor. If I die, so be it. Golbez must die at any cost. Still stubborn as a mule, I see. Ha, like you're one to talk. Nevertheless, with your spells and Cecil's newfound power, you may be able to defeat Golbez. In any case, we must return to Baron to commandeer an airship first. Very well. I shall grant you access to the Devil's Road. As a paladin, I am certain you can safely travel the bedeviled path. It sounds more interesting than what it actually is. Now it's time for me to retire to the Tower of Worship. I shall pray for your success. We thank you. Hallam, Borum, return to your studies. Elder, please allow us to accompany him. Yeah, you're the one who said we should help him in any way we can. Very well, you have both overcome the trials of ordeals and returned alive. Perhaps this is your fate. Please look after them. But are you saying you don't want us tagging along? I'm sure we can still be of assistance. Don't worry, old friend. I will look after them. Plus, it'd be kind of awkward going down to just a party of Cecil and Tellah right now. Very well, so be it. I'm counting on all of you. Alright. Palom, this isn't going to be some kind of picnic. The entrance to the Devil's Road lies to the east of this town. Palom, Porin, train well and return safely. Good luck to you all. Okay, well, I don't have enough time to get into... Is this where I need to go? This is not where I need to go. You're an item shop. Don't have enough time to get into... here's the path. Yeah, we're going to take the Devil's Way path to get into the OK/average tier of Final Fantasy games on my ranking. Eventually we'll get there. Maybe in the next dungeon we can discuss it. Yeah, so basically that Devil's Way was just a warp to end up back in Barren Town. How convenient. And if we go down here, it's a training room. These people will probably tell us some basics that I've already explained to you. Naming way's there too. But we're not changing anyone's name, that would be silly. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Dancers wanted. Looking for cute, talented dancers. Interested parties apply within. I should take my shirt off and apply for that. Hey! It's Yang.